This essay example, as well as thousands of others, is available in text format on our website for free and without registration. Simply Google Ivy Panda Free Essays.
Introduction. Modern technology in the world today is an essential part on which every aspect of people's lives is based. It is hard to imagine that there is a direction in the world today that does not involve modern technology. In that sense, it could be said that this total conversion to the digital era has affected people's personalities and how they communicate. The most influenced category of the population could be considered the young generation, and there are various reasons that could be listed for that statement. This study presents an analysis of the impacts of modern technology on the communication skills, personalities, and social behaviors of the youth in the technological context that characterizes the network society. It argues that modern technology, despite having some negative aspects, has a positive effect on the youth. This paper is an outline of the main ideas that will be thoroughly analyzed in the study. Overview of technology. The technological development implemented a lot of innovations that are used in almost every branch of society. However, the technology considered in this study covers merely some directions of these innovations. Thus, the first direction is informational, which includes online media. This covers all sources of media information available on the Internet, such as TV, radio, journals, etc. Online libraries. These include the available online storage of information, including the private libraries and libraries of educational institutions. Online blogs, somewhat a mix between personal diaries and informational portals. The second direction is communicational, which might include the following innovations. Mobile communications. This covers mobile phones, communicators, and text messaging tools. Online messengers. These are all the available online clients that allow quick exchange of text messages. Email, a substitution of the post services, which allows receiving the mail to an electronic address. Some innovations might include a combination of the two directions, such as social networks, which could be used as a communicative tool and a personal informational resource. Other directions could go into the category of entertainment, which might include communicational aspects, such as video games, and specifically online video games. Youth as a category. The selection of the youth as the most influenced by modern technology lies in several considerations. First, the youth, unlike the older generation, are raised on these technologies, looking at them as life essentials by default, whereas the older generation has to adapt to these innovations, and thus their influence is weaker. In 1997, the University of Tampere carried out research on the communication cultures among the Finnish youth and later extended their research to intercultural comparisons on the domestication of modern communication technology on the youth. It emerged that youth have been devising communication paths and shortcuts of their own that have changed their communication cultures. Researching various statistical data, it becomes evident that the scale on which the youth is using modern technologies is enormous. It could be considered a phenomenon that requires a thorough study. Drawbacks. As with anything in life, long-term addiction and excessive misusage might result in visible changes that can be considered harmful in general. Long-term addiction to online communication could result in the rejection of live communication and, accordingly, the confidence and loss of social abilities. The total amount of information and its availability on the Internet could result in a loss of the appreciation of the information values and accordingly forming laziness in the young generation. Creating profiles on social networks could result in the young generation, especially with confidence, hiding behind these profiles and living the lives of their created alter egos. Shift in the values where such criteria as education behavior are replaced by profile personalization to make a good impression on other people. Actual physical activities are replaced with online analogs, which can result in health problems. Worsening of the student's literary writing if getting used to the Internet instant messaging slang. Benefits. Despite the fact that the drawbacks of modern technology are related to communication and social issues, the benefits can be related to these issues as well. The formation of interest groups in social networks can influence the young generation in a way that they can find support in any direction they choose. This can form strong attachments and responsibilities that later can transform into work relations. The Internet, conditional anonymity, allows young people to express themselves more freely by posting their blogs, creative works, and thoughts. This factor can result in the awakening of talents that in earlier times would have been missed, resulting in people living with a feeling of lost opportunities. Despite online communication being impersonal, the world of the Internet, which is free of boundaries, allows people to be more minded and more politically and socially active and responsible. This factor can be proven in the analysis of the number of young voters in the last election, especially with the wide usage of political campaigns through social networks. Conclusion: as no innovation resulting from development can be without side effects, it can be seen that, mostly, the drawbacks are the result of any addictive usage. Accordingly, it can be stated that modern technology, if taken with control and responsibility, can be a serious aid in developing the personality of the youth and the way they communicate with each other. This term paper on modern technologies and their impact on youth was written and submitted by a student just like you. The IvyPanda Samples database hosts thousands of works similar to this one on various subjects. Visit ivypanda.com to find what you are looking for, free of charge.